call the meeting to order at 7:02.
Yeah, just make sure you
Okay.
talk loud.
I'm going to attempt to be doing minutes at the same time running the meeting, so I just want to let you know that. And we have, as far as I can tell, we have Paul, Todd Zessen, Mike Malloy, and myself here, and we have Todd Springer on Zoom. That's for Board of Finance member. Okay.
Sorry, I'm not there.
Todd, you can hear okay, right?
I can, thank you.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Todd. We can hear you pretty good. Okay. All right, so we have two items on the agenda. The first was contract discussion. Since we don't have the attorney, I don't know that we need to be in executive session. I guess I haven't talked to anybody though, but just wanted to kind of get a debrief on the MDC meeting from last week. Is that something that is able to be public, or is that strategic in nature in terms of?
Well, I did give an update. It was basically, they gave us a verbal of a negotiated monthly payment, but I don't have that in writing yet.
Okay.
And we would still have to pay the loan payment. But the actual monthly payment was negotiated, but I don't have anything in writing from them.
Okay. Is it a good payment?
Did we get any meter pit?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Did we get
We
lower
did.
numbers than we?
Yeah, they came in where we thought they should come in, but they haven't, we need 6 months of the readings.
They didn't accept it. They didn't accept it.
They heard us, so they kind of adjusted the monthly bill, but they need 6 months of readings.
Do you have a ballpark of what they went from to? Like, what was it? It was like the last time,
It's where it's appropriate according to like our meter reads, so it's, the attorney just said not to disclose it yet.
okay.
Yeah.
Do
I don't
you
know why
want to
we
go?
haven't gotten, we did reach out today to see if we could, why we haven't gotten it yet, so.
So I guess I'm trying to wrap my head around the whole thing, you know what I mean? We're kind of in the sewer with you right now. So you had a tentative number, I think it was $75,000, was it? Lisa, can you hear? I think that's what you provided us the last time.
Excuse me one second. Lisa, are you putting people in?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. You got, give me a heads up. Okay. I almost had a panic attack. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, they
That's
acknowledge that our meter reads match the water intake. They want 6 months of data. We're going to meet them again in October. They're going to do a reduced bill based upon the meter reads that Beta did. So that is good news. We need to get CAA to follow in the same suit. So it's still in pending. We don't have anything in writing yet. We had that meeting and we're going to meet again in 6 months.
So could you give us a flavor of the difference between the two reads?
Night and day.
Yeah, like almost.
Like night and day, like 25%.
They're going to go off our number, or are they going off? Are their meters? Is it problem their meter?
Number.
Or how did we get here? Yeah. Okay.
And then they have discussed about going back and seeing if there's any adjustments to be done. But right now, we need the I&I to be completed before they're willing to talk about doing much of anything.
What's
So
an
what they did
I&I?
say is they'll go back to estimated bills for the next 6 months until the beta analysis is complete.
Inflow and infiltration of the pipes.
So can you just, because my understanding of sewers, I told you before, was you pay based on your water usage. This is different. They have a meter in the pit. They have a meter in the pit and they own the meter? Is it their meter that they're reading?
Well, we
It
discovered at
depends,
the
it
meeting.
depends on which pit we're talking about. So we own different meters in different pits.
So just to,
We're getting to the bottom of that too.
Yeah, well, what my question is, so we were going, the real issue came when the estimateds became real reads, right? That was a big surcharge.
Yes.
So that surcharge came in, and then they were claiming they were reading meters at that point, correct? Is that kind of fair to say?
Yes.
So they started reading the meters, and it was a big discrepancy. We got that huge bill. Whose meter is that? You're not sure, or is it?
Yeah, we own some of the meters apparently, and they own some. But the problem is the meters aren't matching. They're way more than what they should be either way. So,
Okay. So just so, because I think this is kind of Greek to most of us, right?
Yeah.
So there's a meter in there.
there was confusion in the room among MDC. We'll just put it that
I
way.
can imagine.
Yeah, there was a lot of,
So when they're charging us $1 million, we need some real clarity.
Their reads and their billing department didn't even match up.
yeah, there was big issues in that meeting.
So just to be clear, and if you don't know the answer, that's fine. So I think we should probably have a meeting with them once this gets figured out, or with our consultant, so we can ask the question. Because I know I have questions, but getting back to so that the consultant put in their own meter,
We put it in Beta put in our own temporary meter.
like next to theirs,
Yeah,
or
it's
like
in the pit.
further down
It's
the
in the meter
line.
pit.
Okay.
So it's in the same location, and our reads are different.
So they're supposed to be reading the same flow.
Yes.
The same pipe.
Yeah.
And you're
Yep.
getting radically different numbers
Yes.
Right, that's what I was getting, but they're
That's-
gonna go off our number.
for now.
Yeah.
For now, they are.
They're going to call it.
Which is what we thought, it's not the ballooned estimate that we thought it was gonna be.
Like the temporary meter read would have been crazy high
Right.
too, but it's not.
So that's the discrepancy.
Yes.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around. You got 2 meters in the same damn pipe.
I think if MDC can't even figure it out, I don't know if we're going.
That's their job. That's not-
No, it's our, they told me that they were upset that this I&I study wasn't done 25 years ago. So they were very vocal.
Last time we cleaned our system was in 1980. The guy yelled at us for about an hour saying he's been dealing with East Granby since 2006, that there's always been a rotating door of different people coming to meet him from East Granby in regards to this. And so what we did is we put the temporary meter in to validate the meter that they are using for the existing readings. And those were what night and day were. So that's why they agreed to meet with us in good faith. They're going to give us billing a little higher than that, but not what they were billing, and sit down in 6 months to see where these results are. And let's come and get an analysis and get on the same page.
Okay,
But
so,
with data, we need data.
yeah, but I guess you keep referring to inflow. So if these meters are right next to each other, it shouldn't be a different flow.
Right.
And the inflow, so you've got, I'm just going to make it, so you got a pipe, you got a meter. The meter is reading the flow, okay?
And we dropped a different meter down to verify the integrity of the numbers of the first meter that they're billing on. And we found that those 2 numbers are incorrect. So what we prove, or are trying to prove, is that the numbers coming from the meter that we're getting billed on is incorrect.
Yeah, I got that part. So you put another meter in there, you're reading that, it's different, getting different readings, which means the meter's broke or something, I guess, is what it was, or, it hasn't been calibrated
I
in
mean,
30
we don't
years.
know. It's too preliminary. We just got 1 month's worth of data from Beta.
Okay, so that's cool, but they keep talking about inflow. Now, inflow, how would you,
That inflow is if there's like a pipe that's broken along the way, so you're getting extra water from somewhere.
it's like tens of thousands of
Yeah, it would
gallons.
have to be 24/7,
And nobody would know where that's coming
right?
from.
Which is why we're doing the sewer testing.
So they're talking about inflow, but our meters are reading lower as it is, so they're not showing, so only the old meter would be representing an
But we also have more than one meter pit. We're only doing meter pit 5 right now, so like there's other meters.
Is that the meter pit that was suspected as
Well,
being?
meter pit 1 is also suspect, and that's the one that we share with Connecticut Airport Authority.
Are we going to do a test on that?
Yeah,
one?
we're just focusing on one right now.
So you're only testing 1 meter pit at this point?
Yes.
And it was a radical, so would it be our interest to do the others also?
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
But
okay.
The I&I does it too. The I&I is doing every meter pit.
the study.
The I&I is,
The I&I study that we're going to be doing. Right now, we're just doing initial meter testing.
The I&I study is for 6 months.
Yeah.
That's the 6 months a day.
So are these pits enclosed just with the incoming pipe and there's no like leaching fields or?
Well,
residential system,
after it goes to the meter pit, I think that's when it goes to MDC, I'm pretty sure, right? So like that,
So it's connected by another pipe that goes into this MDC, or do they come out and pump it out?
it gets sent to MDC after the meter hits, right, Lisa? Am I correct to say that?
The readings they take once a month, and yeah, then they would have to process in whatever treatment plant.
Yeah.
I'm sure after
goes-
the I&I study is
goes to
done, we are
Hartford.
all going to become experts on sewer and WPCA. But just, we've got to
So
get
there's a
there.
physical pipe running from East
But we
Granby.
can't do anything without the data.
Hartford.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any areas where some of the fluid escapes the pipe or like
Well,
that?
that's what we're trying to get to the
Yeah.
bottom of.
What I'm struggling with is the fact that you're saying
I
there's
know.
inflow, but
Inflow.
there's only one meter.
Yeah.
So it's either the inflow would have to be before the meter, coming in,
Right.
and then spiking the read. But
Yes.
the one pit we measured is dramatically lower. So there's obviously, you can't be looking for inflow when it matches your usage. You know what I'm saying? So they have their numbers of water they're selling to people within that district. And they can compare it and they can say, okay, they use 30,000 gallons and we process 25, that makes sense. If they use 30,000 gallons and they process 200,000, then they would suspect inflow. But our meter's showing dramatically lower, the one that they just tested. So I'm probably misspeaking here, but I just think that, are you going to have another, you're going to meet with the Beta people again soon?
Yeah.
or- Yeah.
Tom, our engineer, he's in constant contact, and Beta is constantly sending me information too. But it's all preliminary draft info that's not disclosable.
Could we at some point, and I don't know how you guys feel, but could we have Beta just answer questions for us some night?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just so we could get them in here and kind of.
They were here at a WPCA meeting, but I can ask them.
We're asking our first select woman and our finance director technical sewage questions. I
Right.
feel
They
like.
could provide us maybe a diagram. of
We've
how
learned a
this-
lot though, Mike, in the past 2 months.
Oh, I'm not questioning
We
your
got a crash
sewage.
course in sewer.
TMI.
Yeah, I think that would be good to have them here.
But I just feel like we're kind of spinning our wheels if we're just beating you guys up with it and we just need to get,
Well, the good news is we found a discrepancy immediately
Yeah,
that's
in the
huge.
town's favor
yeah.
by leaps and bounds. So now we just need to get more of this data, show consistency in the lack of matching of their billing to what actual reads are. And then we go back and say, okay, now this is what we showed. These are the peaks and valleys. It's raining and we didn't have a surge, so we don't have a water main break. We'll have the I&I study to show the ins and outs of all the different meter pits. And then Beta will present it on behalf of the town because it's going to be the facts speaking for itself.
Right, right.
And then the town will turn around and say, hey, knowing this information and that we actually have a pretty good sounding sewer system, these previous bills make no sense.
Right.
And they agreed with that. And that's where we've got to go back to. But we need to have that integrity of data to introduce.
Right, they weren't just gonna roll over and be like, okay, that's fine. They demanded 6 months, and Beta said, yes, that's the plan, we're doing 6 months.
Well, I'll caution you, you said the guy was really angry and saying that he doesn't want to take responsibility.
Right, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
where you're at.
Right.
And as long as you're,
We knew where it was coming from.
it's easy to see when you see 7 different people, it's
Yeah.
easy to say, oh, you guys, I talked to this guy 20 years ago, but
They had a lot of people in the room too that there was no coherence there at all. So there was a lot of stuff that has to get worked out.
okay.
I sent the billing info to the gentleman that does the reads. He goes, this doesn't make any sense. He goes, I show that you only had 2,700 CCS this month. I go, really? Because you billed me about 25. So they have their own discrepancies going on there that they're working on themselves. So there's a couple of, I think, areas of improvement that need to happen. And it seems to be going in the town's favor. I don't want to jinx it, but I can tell you that right now, we're doing okay.
The town
And then we
attorney
got to go to
was
CAA,
yeah.
the next year.
Is it Derek now? the one that's-
Our town attorney was at the MDC meeting also, along with Beta.
Did
There was
anybody from MDC, was there ever any mention of any meters downstream, if you will, that you know, like say if you put something in meter pit 5 and you immediately stop at their number. Does MDC have anything downstream that's balancing meter reads that they've talked about, or that meter is
It
supposed to
hasn't
be?
come up, but I can ask.
No, but that's where it's going to go towards the end, because I know that's what I do with the WPCA over in Willimantic. We know what goes through our system, so everything that we build needs to match to it, and you've got to we get to like 98%. So if they do their own books, it should match as well. They should show a huge discrepancy based on their billing, but we haven't gotten down that road yet.
But
because we
somewhere-
don't have enough data to actually say, hey, we don't trust your books.
Right, but somewhere they would get to a point where, again, let's, for sake of argument, you know, there's 2 towns with 100,000 units. They somewhere are counting 200,000.
One would hope.
You would hope, right? Does anybody have any other questions for the?
Oh, this point.
We're all excited to get answers, we just don't have them yet.
Okay. All right, so it sounds like we will try to have another discussion. We're interested in, and I can arrange with Derek Donnelly, and we're also interested in data. I know we have couple of pretty busy meetings coming up with regard to the budget. But we can talk about, you know, when there's something to say, right? I mean, when there's news, and then if we can get people here.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Data when they think it's a good time. Maybe.
Just one last question on a financial standpoint. So they deferred, well, last meeting we had, they were talking about suspending payment on the account. Is that still in place, or did you pick back up on paying that?
We were demanded at that meeting to keep paying the bill that we had
The
received.
negotiated bill?
Plan.
Yeah. So so we're paying them how much per month right now?
That's about 19,000, and then.
On the 700,000?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're paying 19,000 a month? And we're paying our current bill also?
So the current bill is what they negotiated.
And what is that?
That's the number that I can't really disclose, but it's what it's.
Well, it's kind of public, if we're writing a check.
No, it's not, because I don't have it in writing yet.
Oh,
We
okay, so,
don't even have an invoice.
oh, okay, so you don't even have it right. So
Yeah.
once you
It's
confirm.
significantly less.
Okay.
So, I mean, there was talk.
About a third.
Yeah, there was talk. There was talk in the room about, in the MDC room, about crediting, if it comes to that. The CEO and the CFO were arguing with each other in the room, so.
Yeah, the
Nobody's gonna
COO
wanna
said
take
that-
It got
responsibility.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, they got a budget to balance
But we'll
too.
see what happens, and, you know, that's what we're just keeping our fingers crossed during each of the testing periods, so.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Todd, on Zoom, anything that you have? You're still there?
Nothing for me, thanks.
All right, the next item is elected official salary guidance.
Do we need the executive session for that?
We don't for the vote, but we did want to have an executive session to speak about it.
Is Mark in there to turn off the camera?
So we would go into the conference room.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you want to go there now?
It's the only other thing on our agenda.
Okay.
So make a motion to adjourn to executive session?
Yeah. And are we inviting anyone? The board members, are we inviting the town, anyone from the town? or
Well,
just-
I think we need to discuss it as a board.
Yeah.
Todd.
So how do we do
Lisa?
Todd over, yeah.
Yeah, Todd?
Do you want Lisa to go or not yet? Do I go to it? Okay.
So can we call
Seriously.
Todd?
How could?
I can put my laptop.
I can call,
No, I'll put everyone in the waiting room.
Yeah, well, that's probably better, just call.
I can put everyone in the waiting room except for Todd, and you guys can take my laptop if you want.
I mean, I could probably FaceTime him too.
Okay. Where's that?
Let's do this.
So you don't have to play with Zoom meetings.
Okay, so
Is he all right with
I don't
that?
want to mess up your tape if you shut
no,
the.
I'll keep it recording in here.
Okay.
Just say no votes will be taken and
Right, no votes will be taken, I mean,
Right, no vote. Do we want to vote
if we
on?
do have a vote, it'll be when we come back into here.
the time. I think that's his car.
Is he there? Okay. I just want, well, he either gets it or he doesn't. If he's gone, that's not going to matter, you know?
Yeah. This is recording too, though.
We lost the audio in there.
Oh, hold on.
Can't hear you.
We're not saying anything?
So
What are you guys
like
talking?
salary, then you want to do a separate motion for registrars?
Hold on,
And let
let me
me talk
see what
about
that-
that.
Yeah, well, I guess at first I'll just, she has, actually, she has registered.
Can you hear me, Lisa?
She has
I can hear you.
registered, so let's do that first.
Todd, can you hear us?
Recommendation.
Todd can't for some reason.
Todd can't hear us?
No.
Everybody else can?
Did you turn your volume back on, Todd? I might have turned it down.
He
when you
can't hear us. Hold on.
He looks frozen.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, there he goes.
There he is.
There we go.
You got it? Okay. We're trying to
Yeah.
ask you questions, but you're.
Sorry.
Okay.
User error, I guess. Switching between iPhone and Mac.
Okay, so we're back then at 7:55. What time did we leave? 22?
7:22.
All right. Did you have a recommendation for registrar salary? If not, we can do it next meeting.
Do you have a recommendation for registrar salary?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. In the.
Yeah, for the budget, I put the same 3% COLA in for the 2 registrars that the rest of the town hall did. That's what I have as a placeholder.
So let me do, so bear with us while I do a little math. So currently, for a registrar that's not certified,
It's 25.
it's 25.20 an hour.
Is it 25?
Yep. Goes to 25.96.
And,
Oh, she's got
oh, you got it there, okay. And,
Oh, yeah. And then the 32.45 goes to 33.42.
it's 32.45?
32.
33.40.
Okay. So can we get a motion that maybe has round numbers, like maybe 26 and maybe 34.50, something like that?
Have to do that every year because the 3% is always going to, or whatever it is. That's, yeah. 26 and 33,
Uh,
34.
34.50. Is there a motion?
Is that it? I don't know. I'll make a motion to set the registrar's salary at
26?
26 for non-certified and 34.50, did you say?
Yes.
34.50 for certified registrar for the next fiscal year.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion. Okay, is there any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, that carries unanimously. All right, is there a motion regarding the, first selectman salary?
You'll make a motion to set the first selectman salary at $80,000 for the next,
second that.
I guess, fiscal year.
And were you doing anything to the grid?
And yeah, advance the grid 1 year like we usually do.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to say, I think this year we should have stuck with, or we should stick with the agreed upon grid and not slide it. I think there's justification for keeping the salary steady in the current situation without getting into the weeds. I think that would be more appropriate in this situation.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, we have a motion and did somebody second that?
Hotspur.
I did.
Yeah. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed, say no? No.
Aye.
All right, the motion carries. All right. That brings us to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that as well.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Okay,
Next week.
thank
Bye,
you.
Lisa.
Take it easy.
Bye, see you next week.